Lake Taupo is a lake situated in the North Island of New Zealand. It lies in the caldera of the Taupo volcano, with a surface area of 616 square kilometres. It is the largest lake by surface area in New Zealand, and the second largest freshwater lake by surface area in geopolitical Oceania after Lake Murray. Motutaiko Island lies in the southeast area of the lake. Lake Taupo has a perimeter of approximately 193 kilometers and a deepest point of 186 meters. It is drained by the Waikato River, while its main tributaries are the Waitahanui River, the Tongariro River, and the Tauranga-Taupo River. It is a noted trout fishery with stocks of introduced brown and rainbow trout. Lake formation and volcanism. Lake Taupo lies in a caldera created by a supervolcanic eruption which occurred approximately 26,500 years ago. According to geological records, the volcano has erupted 28 times in the last 27,000 years. It has ejected mostly rhyolitic lava, although Mount Tauhara formed from dacitic lava. The initial event 26,500 years ago is known as the Aroanui eruption. It was the world's largest known eruption over the past 70,000 years, ejecting altogether 1,170 cubic kilometers of material and causing several hundred square kilometers of surrounding land to collapse and form the caldera. The caldera later filled with water, eventually overflowing to cause a huge outwash flood. It is possible that the Lake Taupo event contributed to starting the last glacial maximum. Several later eruptions occurred over the millennia before the most recent major eruption, which is traditionally dated as about 180 CE from Greenland ice core records. Tree ring data from two studies suggests a later date of 232 CE plus or minus 5. Known as the Hatepe eruption, it is believed to have ejected 100 cubic kilometers of material, of which 30 cubic kilometers was ejected in the space of a few minutes. This was one of the most violent eruptions in the last 5,000 years, with a volcanic explosivity index rating of 7, and there appears to be a correlation to within a few years of a year in which the sky was red over Roman China. The eruption devastated much of the North Island and further expanded the lake. The area was uninhabited by humans at the time of the eruption, since New Zealand was not settled by the Maori until about 1280. Possible climatic effects of the eruption would have been concentrated on the southern hemisphere due to the southerly position of Lake Taupo. Taupo's last known eruption occurred around 30 years later, with lava dome extrusion forming the Horomatangi reefs, but that eruption was much smaller than the 180 CE eruption. Underwater hydrothermal activity continues near the Horomatangi vent, and nearby geothermal fields with associated hot springs are found north and south of the lake, for example at Rotokawa and Turangi. These springs are the site of occurrence of certain extremophile microorganisms that are capable of surviving in extremely hot environments. The volcano is currently considered to be dormant rather than extinct because of moderate fumarole activity and hot springs along the shores of the lake. Biota. Much of the watershed of Lake Taupo is a beach and podocarp forest with associate understory of ferns being Blechnum filiform, Asplenium flacidum, Dudia media, Hymenophyllum demissum, Microsorum pustulatum and Microsorum scandens, and some prominent associate shrubs being Aleria rani and Alsoiosmia querciphilia. Native faunal species in the lake include northern Kora crayfish and Cocopa whitebait. The lake is noted for stocks of brown trout and rainbow trout, introduced from Europe and California respectively in the late 19th century. There has also been a subsequent introduction of smelt as a food for the trout. A community of sponges and associated invertebrates live around the underwater geothermal vents. Tourism. Tourism is a major component of Taupo's commercial sector, and the city attracts over 2 million visitors per year. The busiest time for the industry is the high summer season around Christmas and New Year. The lake area has a temperate climate. Daily maximum temperatures recorded for Taupo range from an average of 23.3 degrees Celsius in January and February to 11.2 degrees Celsius in July, while the nighttime minimum temperatures range from 11.6 degrees Celsius in February down to 2.2 degrees Celsius in July. Rain falls in all seasons but is greatest in winter and spring, from June to December. Taupo hosts the Lake Taupo Cycle Challenge, a cycling tour around the lake which can take anywhere between 4 and 10 hours. Hundreds of volunteers from the Taupo Township are involved in the event. Skydiving is a popular local sport and tourist attraction. Taupo also hosts the Kellogg's Iron Man event. Maori rock carving on the northwest side of Lake Taupo on the cliffs of Mine Bay. There are Maori rock carvings created in the late 1970s by Matahi Whakatako Brightwell and John Randall, carved in likeness of Ngātoro Rangi, a navigator who guided the Tawhari Toa and Te Arawa tribes to the Taupo area over 1,000 years ago. According to Maori legend, the 10-meter-high carving is intended to protect Lake Taupo from volcanic activities underneath. The cliff has become a popular tourist destination with hundreds of boats and yachts visiting the spot daily. Maori tribes. Lake Taupo is a taronga of Ngāti Tūwhare Toa from the Te Arawa Waka. Ngāti Tūwhare Toa still own the bed of the lake and of its tributaries.